Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Realm of Ori. In this video, we will continue with Volume 12, Chapter 1 The Staccato of Marching Jackboots, Part 1. And before we start, this video contains spoilers from the anime and manga series. And by the way guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and click on the bell icon to get notifications for upcoming videos. So without further ado, let's get into the video. We got home the same day our music exchange with Ruminas ended. Venom and his subordinates, as well as the band members they managed to escort, are all completely safe. Children protected by Diablo were given a week off to rest. Fortunately, they didn't suffer any damage, but I still wanted to make sure they were safe and well, just in case. They witnessed firsthand the difference between training and real dealing, and as a result, lacked their usual spirituality. I was afraid they would be traumatized, so I told them to have a good rest. My conference with Ruminas and Leon was moved to another date. After arguing about where it was held, we finally settled in the capital of Tempest, Rimuru. We decided because Rumina's place, Rubario's, would be busy with restoration. As for why Leon, El Dorado's territory, is busy, it seems like something serious is going on there and so they can't afford to invite foreign dignitaries right now. In that regard, there are no problems if we meet at Tempest, and I have no reason to refuse. After all, we already have 2 demon lords staying in our country. A certain annoying fairy and a lazy, young nobleman appeared in my head. I didn't have time to rest yesterday, because they both came right away. When Leon returned home, he immediately began preparing for his visit. While I thought I was a little bored with them, I understood that both Ruminas and Leon wanted to prioritize the exchange of important information. Besides, I wanted to hear their side of the story about what happened. That's why I didn't give any complaints and instead agreed with them. We gathered in the most luxurious reception room available. The leaders of this conference were Ruminas, Leon, and I. Since it was a meeting between demon lords, I went out to fit the occasion. Only those involved will participate in the meeting. When we collect the various details, we can determine how much information we can share about Chloe. Given the circumstances, there is a tough agreement that it is better to keep Chloe's situation a secret from even our own subordinates. Xian, Diablo, and Veldora were also coming with me. Honestly, I didn't want Veldora to attend. Since he would get bored halfway through the conference anyway, I wanted him to play quietly in his room. But for some reason, he became all adamant and asked, and why should I not be joining? If you insist, I had unwillingly agreed to let him participate. Xian was supposed to be in critical condition following her battle with Razul, but she recovered in the blink of an eye. Ultraspeed regeneration was indeed a very terrifying skill. She stood dutifully behind me, alongside Diablo. Hinata was seated next to Ruminas, with Lewis and Gunther shadowing them both. Positioned behind Leon, the 2 knights, Alrose and Claude, were also at the ready. Last but not least was Chloe, the girl of the hour. Even though she returned to her childlike form, it would be prudent to treat her as an adult. With that, the interim Demon Lord meeting had begun. First, we asked Chloe to personally explain to us what had happened. As she investigates her story, Hinata interjected here and there, adding her own clarifications for what happened. Naturally, it was impossible to believe what they shared. However, when I first experienced the imaginary scene, I more easily received their testimony. So, with the help of Hinata and Rimuru-san, I was able to safely free myself from the infinite loop, Chloe declared, marking the end to her almost inconceivable explanation. Everyone looked like they had something to say, but kept quiet, glancing around as they tried to gauge each other's reactions. In such an uneasy situation, Veldora was the one who broke the ice, mainly because he couldn't read the mood at all. Which means the hero who sealed me away was. That doesn't matter at all, does it? I thought quietly to myself, but Hinata already had a response waiting. Me. Now we're tied with 1 win and 1 loss. Don't you think it's good to have tasted defeat? What? Do you have a problem with that? If you want, we can settle this once and for all. Very well, since you insist. Allow me to show you my true strength and, our meeting would go nowhere if this continued. Hinata was usually level-headed, but strangely enough, she was being immature towards Veldora. I decided to be the mediator for this one. Alright, that's enough. Please discuss your differences when you 2 are alone. Hinata, it is very important to teach that moronic dragon some manners. If you are going to fight him, then I'll join you, so don't be afraid to call me at any time. Please don't make things worse, Ruminas-san. And so, I hurriedly changed the subject. Come now, everything turned out fine. By the way, I've been thinking about this for a bit, but I was apparently killed, right? I wonder if the culprit came from the Empire. This was an important issue to me. Even now, the Empire's movements remained suspicious. We needed to stay vigilant due to their potential hostility. Chloe voiced her support. Yeah, probably. I also think that it was the same person who killed Hinata. It seems like there are powerful individuals in the Empire, and although there's also the possibility that you were challenged by several people at once, the flash of light that pierced through Hinata was something I couldn't even follow. I see. If this person could kill Hinata, then including me on their hit list wouldn't sound too far-fetched because I never became a demon lord in that timeline. Despite the fact that I've evolved into a demon lord now, it's still better not to let my guard down. Even though it was a completely different timeline, I felt serious aversion to the person that had killed me. We definitely needed to exercise caution when it came to antagonizing the Empire. I agree. The Empire is a lot more dangerous than what you think, Rimuru-san. After you died, Veldora went on a rampage, but the Empire was still able to fend him off. While fighting Veldora, Hinata was murdered, and Chloe leapt into the past. Afterwards, Chronoa could only remember certain things from her fragmented memory. Still, there was no doubt that the Empire used the clash between the rampaging Veldora and Chronoa to their advantage. Given that we had witnessed firsthand the power of Chronoa, just being able to intervene in such a battle was a feat in itself. And if that was the case, then the Empire's strength was definitely greater than what we expected. Ruminas and Leon looked like they had the same idea. Everyone had a growing sense of urgency regarding the Empire. Of course, in this somber atmosphere, Veldora just had to blurt out his off-topic opinion. Me going on a rampage? I find that hard to believe, he asserted, a smug look on his face. Everybody's reaction to that outburst could be summed up with, "What is this guy even saying?" Veldora's impressive ability to joke around like that in such a heavy atmosphere was quite, wait. Why are you all looking at me like that? There's no way a gentleman such as I would go out of control like that. Well, you see, given that he used to run amok in the olden days, it was easy for anyone to imagine that he had let his emotions get the better of him and gone on a rampage. Then again, watching my death moments before his revival might have set off his wrath, or something like that. When I thought about it that way, I couldn't help but feel a little happy. Come on, let bygones be bygones. So, I decided to appease Veldora with a bit of warmth in my voice. The Empire is dangerous, we ended the discussion with that conclusion. Next, we analyzed Chronoa's memories by having Chloe recall as far back as possible. After Veldora was defeated by the Empire, the world entered a tumultuous period of conflict. In the war involving the West and the East, it was the Empire who possessed the upper hand. Milim made her move in the midst of all this. My death set off her wrath against the Empire. However, before she could cause any meaningful damage against them, Guy intervened. As a result, history wound up repeating itself, a devastating battle between Milim and Guy. DeGruel and Ruminas also clashed with each other, adding fuel to the fire, their armed conflict bringing even more destruction to the world. And Chronoa fought someone and ultimately died in the process. She had rushed to wherever there was battle and fought for as long as her life still lasted. All she had left was a lust for destruction, indiscriminately taking down powerful people, friend or foe. So that's why she couldn't remember who killed her. The number of individuals capable of defeating someone as strong as Chronoa is certainly limited, right? It's Guy. I can only think of Guy. Ruminas and Leon immediately responded to my mumbling. I thought so, too. Despite the outcome of the duel between Guy and Milim being unclear, the only person who could kill Chronoa was him. Be that as it may, we didn't know the exact reason as to why Guy would kill Chronoa, so it might not have been him.